Hi, welcome to Fish. First I seek him, and my name is Linda. So, as we know, Abraham. Why are you going to Abraham? Because Abraham is happening right now. Yes, he is. And you'll see why. Abraham was called by God out of Babylon and idol worship from the region of a 4,000-year-old Sumerian temple, and the palace is known as the Great Ziggurat of Ur of the Chaldees. Now, what do you think? What does that have to do with anything? Well, it has a lot to do with anything, because that anything is happening right now. So, Genesis 12:1-3. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth, be blessed. That's what God said in Genesis 12:1-3. It was one of the seminal moments for all people who worship the one true God. And it led directly to the Hebrew family and eventually a nation and the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. But Pope Francis went back to Babylon last weekend, and oddly enough, he didn't say any of this. No, he didn't. Oops, it just maybe slipped his mind. Now, much more could be said about Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob, Judah, and the line that led to Jesus, who made the all-important connection, and yet for some reason he didn't even start the story. No, he did not. Instead, the Pope, he told a story of unity. Yeah, that was his line. Unity. The human race. Well, let's go back for a second. When in reality, the human race is a story of a chosen remnant of people who are triumphant, victorious, and blessed like Abraham, who chose to reject his pagan roots and follow God. All right? That's part of the story that the Pope ignored. In fact, he ignored all the story. All right? He chose to preach about unity. The Pope chose also to hold an interreligious meeting where people would all sing Kumbaya, forgive ISIS, and talk about rebuilding Babylon. Yes, he did. Once the land of Iraq had a teeming population of Christians and Jews. And the Jews were left to travel across the desert with only the clothes on their backs when Israel was founded. So in 2003, Iraq boasted 1.5 million Christians, but today there are less than 150,000. And many of them live in San Diego, California, and in Michigan. They are also known as Chaldeans, Christian Iraqis. And neither Jews nor Christians have any designs about returning there, and much less rebuilding. They don't. The Pope knows what was done in this land when it was the so-called caliphate, and witnessed unimaginable and unspeakable horrors, including beheadings and mass killings. Now, we lived in San Diego, California years ago, and it's just absolutely beautiful. our neighbors and friends are Chaldeans. In fact, we have a lot of friends that are Chaldeans. And the horror stories that they share with us about what happened there is frightening. They were slaughtered. Villages that have been there for thousands of years were wiped out. That's one of my friends. The village that she was born in, grew up, and then emigrated to the States is wiped out, including the people. So, the Pope says forgiveness is necessary to remain in love, to remain Christian, he said. Now, here's something else the Pope didn't mention about Abraham. When he was 99 years old, God made a covenant with him. And it comes in Genesis 17, 1 through 10. And yes, we're going to read it all. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Something important came out of Babylon. Abraham did. There are even historical records of Abraham when he was there, in the Ur of the Chaldees. There is no doubt about his existence. But the most important thing about him was his faith in God. His faith was so great that he was willing to sacrifice his own son at his command, Isaac, if you remember correctly. But God stopped short of that, having tested and proven his servant. And later God will sacrifice his own son because he so loved the world. And yet we didn't hear any of that story told by the Pope in Babylon. Yep. Well, that's it for fish. First I see Kim. My name is Linda. And until next time.